A Toronto family says they're hoping for a Christmas miracle. They want to reunite with a flight attendant who helped them in a moment of need more than 3 decades ago. Adrian Chung has their story.
I remember this house.
Do you remember sleeping there?
Photos of the Pan family are starting to yellow and fade, but the memory of a pivotal moment in their family's history hasn't been forgotten.
It's one of these things that, we always talk about, whenever we have family get-togethers. Hey, remember when you first arrived in Canada, that what happened? And we kind of, joke about it.
At just 4 years old, Michael Pan and his mother Hu Wei landed in a strange and unknown land, Canada. It was November of 1984. They flew from Hong Kong to start a new life and to join Michael's father, who lived in Montreal. But with a pit stop in Toronto along the way, their plans suddenly had a hiccup.
My mom, not speaking English, not understanding the announcements that were happening in French or English, saw a bunch of people getting off the plane. So she thought, well, I guess this is what we're doing. This is my stop. So she gets off and she finds herself in the wrong city. Long
before the age of texting and emails, the young mother and son were lost at Pearson International Airport. An Air Canada flight attendant clued into their panic and came to their rescue.
There was a flight attendant who was helping, doing some of this sort of translating, that took in my brother and took in my mom, took them to her home, gave them a place to stay, fed them, and then made sure they got back to the airport the next day.
It's an act of kindness that has stayed with the family for 35 years.
This kind of fairy godmother, this angel that kind of came down and kind of helped us through a tough situation. And I think, at the end of it, that's kind of what people go through and what people latch onto it. So that's a month after I landed there.
In the time since, the Pan family built a life in Canada, but that flight attendant who came to their aid, the Pans never found out who she was. Now, more than 3 decades later, they've started a social media campaign to find her and to thank her.
Without what you have done for us, things would have been very different for us. I'd like to kind of tell her my life story. I'd like to be able to let her know that her 12 hours of helping us through kind of carried through the next 35 years.
Already, Air Canada has gotten in touch with them to help with their sleuthing, to solve a story that is especially Canadian.
It was a very special moment for her to not see color, not see language, not see race, just see a woman who needed help and then go to her attention and help her.
Adrian Chung, CBC News, Toronto.